Welcome back. More news of the day. There you go. Even a little bit of finger guns. So bonus, right? All right. So Sean Couturier, I find this really funny. I find it really funny that these deals happened within hours of one another. So Svechnikov gets 8 years at 7.75 million, and within a couple hours, Sean Couturier gets an 8-year extension from Philadelphia at a cap hit of, wait for it, 7.75 million. So $62 million. So now he and Svechnikov could, I don't know, combine on buying a bigger island. And no, I know you can't buy. I don't imagine you can buy a good island for $62 million, but island money takes a while. Anyways, this is a long contract. Now here's the difference. So with the Carolina Hurricanes and Andrei Svechnikov, they are buying up his prime. They are buying up a lot of his unrestricted free agent years. With Couturier, the Flyers are making sure the rest of his career basically is in Philadelphia. There's more risk, I think, to the Couturier contract because of his age. So I think the cap hit's perfectly fine right now. We'll see how it ages for him, right? And for the team. But for Philly, now you don't have to worry about Couturier. I mentioned him in the 31 player video last week. Now he's signed. You're welcome. So yeah, that video now is gone. But Claude Giroux, who was an honorable mention in that video, he is, through his agent, said they're not going to discuss contract and extension until this season's done. So I don't know if this is a matter of I don't want the distraction. I can't see it because they're not even in training camp yet. Or it's a matter of I want to see where the Flyers are at the end of this year before I make up my mind on whether or not I'm going to stick around. So that's where we're at with Claude Giroux, and Couturier is done. So they won't lose Couturier. They might lose Giroux, but who knows? Now that I've mentioned it in a video, he'll sign for $7.75 million. I would laugh pretty hard if 3 or 4 more contracts come out that have the exact same cap hit and the exact same years on them. But yeah, so let me know in the comments section whether you think the Couturier deal is a good one. How you feel about that, right? And I agree. I agree with people who love Couturier. I do too. I think this is one of those contracts that 3-4 years down the road may age poorly, but we'll see. Carrie Price, Jonathan Drouin. Now, Drouin, there was talk about how he was going to be and whether or not he'd be in camp, and yes. Carrie Price, just before Seattle made their picks, you could be forgiven for thinking, so is Carrie Price retiring? Because, man, they're talking about him losing a leg, and man, this sounds bad. And then Seattle made their picks, and Montreal goes, ha, that's psych. And so, yeah, they're saying Price is going to be good for training camp. They're expecting him to be a full participant right from the beginning of training camp. Everything's okay for Carey Price. So, yeah, that worked. If that was the plan, it worked. And even if that's not the reason why Seattle didn't take him, it still worked. So, yeah, Montreal should have a full house. It'll be interesting to see how Drouin plays if he's still Montreal Canadian on opening night, whether or not they make some kind of a change on their roster. And I do wish Drouin the best. I really do. Hopefully now that he's coming back to the team in a training camp, hopefully he's 100% and he's able to play the way that we know he can. He can be a very good player. Dylan Dube has signed an extension with the Calgary Flames. It is a 3-year contract at $2.3 million per season, which, yes, means it's a $6.9 million contract. Get the giggles out now while you can. But, yeah, so Dube signs 3 years in Calgary. That's done. We're going to see other restricted free agents get signed. We're also going to start. This is right around the start of time where we start seeing professional tryouts, where we start seeing more and more of the training camp tryouts happening. So, yeah, those will be on the board, I would think, over the next week, because we're almost up to rookie camp. And Turcotte of the LA Kings will be in rookie camp, but he had acute appendicitis. So that's a very, very painful thing to have. And then they take your appendix out, and apparently he's going to be 100% at camp. So that's good. Turcotte, if he's ready and if he can play, I did the LA preview. LA could be one of those teams that just explodes this year, and we're talking next year about this really good lineup that has absolutely emerged, and they all coalesced, and everything looks good. But we'll see. Turcotte, though, is one of the higher-rated prospects they have, and if he can earn himself a job outside of camp, or out of camp, especially if Byfield does as well, yeah, watch LA. They could be really interesting. Speaking of young players and turning things around, Marco Rossi is now healthy. had a bout with myocarditis after having COVID, and it's taken him this long to get up to speed. But now he's trying to get Austria into the Olympics. So he's playing for the Austrian team on the qualifiers. There are other NHL players in the qualifying tournament. I talked about that earlier this week. And so, yeah, he helped he helped Austria beat Italy. And so that's one down. If you finish first in your group, you make it to the Olympics. So he's trying to get Austria in there. And yeah, we'll see which ones are the final three countries to get in. And I'll get more into the Olympic thing when I know whether or not they're going. I've had people asking me, when are you going to do like an Olympics roster for Canada and the US? I would need to know for sure that they're going. I don't know for sure that they are. So until that's actually announced for sure, and we know they've got it baked into the schedule, but things can change. It just feels like it would just be wild speculation on something that might not even happen. So all the best to Rossi, all the best to Turcotte as well. Again, appendicitis, acute appendicitis. Any form of appendicitis is a no for me. I don't have any interest in it, and I'd like it to stay away from me. But yeah, so there you go. A little bit more news of the day to close things out. Let me know your thoughts, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And we're less than a month from the start of the preseason games. So, yeah, things are ramping up kind of quickly. And we'll see guys in rookie camps. I think it's next week that a lot of the rookie camps start, and then we have like the Young Guns tournaments going on as well. So we'll see how all that goes. But thank you guys for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.